Hello, world, and welcome to a Wednesday edition of the Ysn Power Hour, brought to you proudly by our friends over at Toyota of Warren, DJ Yoakley, Scotty Mincher, that way. And again, just a beautiful Wednesday. Just a huge, beautiful Wednesday, Scotty. You're looking a little foggy over there. You working up a sweat? What's going on over there in Struthers, Ohio?
I don't know. I probably need to get my computer clean. I need to get some of them special like cloths to wipe the screen.
You got some of them gremlins in your computer.
Yeah.
Scotty, a big day of across seemingly every sport last night, and a lot of news since last time we talked. When you look at coordinators being hired, both of our teams hired an offensive coordinator. When you think about the evolution, the continual, some people will say gradual. I think that the NFL has absolutely exploded on the scene, and with a lot of the things that they're doing from a marketing perspective and being able to market their players. But when you look at how things continue to transpire after the season, right, for most teams, there's two teams left, the Chiefs and the Niners, and the news cycle just doesn't break in the NFL. They just keep on going. Is it too much information for the National Football League? Is it almost over saturation of one sport? Do you ever get bored listening or watching or hearing news about the National Football League?
Honestly, really, I gotta say no. I really don't get bored with it. I think just, I don't know. It's just something about the NFL and the fact that it's only 16 games a season, and not that the other sports, the regular season doesn't matter, but and especially now with the college, with the playoff expanding, I mean, that regular season is going to be pretty much it's going to be a lot more insignificant. And you look at the NFL, regular season wise, I mean, every game is really big. So I do think that because of that, I think that's why NFL has been king and has been king for a while. But I don't know. I like the, for lack of a better way to put it, like the baseball esque, like the hot stove type stuff, and like the off season buzz. And this guy could go here. This guy was hired here. Like, it's all really compelling to me. But what about you? Do you get bored with it?
I don't get bored. It's just, I think I become numb to it. You know what I mean? Like when the Steelers season's over, I can still get excited about playoff games this year because of, I like the Niners, the local ties here to Youngstown. I like that, I know a Kansas City Chiefs fan at least. So it's nice to have Anthony and kind of root for Anthony to get his team, because who knows when it's their last. I mean, these dynasties anymore, they close quickly. But yeah, for me, it's just like you're numb. You're like, okay, well, we just hired an offensive coordinator. Super great. Now what do we do? Now we got to wait till August to see any plays, kind of come from it. I guess I'm not used to looking forward to the draft. I know we joked about it before, and we always joke that the Browns fans, their Super Bowl happens every April, May, when the draft comes around. And for me, I'm just not used to kind of looking forward to it. I mean, we haven't, I don't want to be that guy, but we haven't really had to utilize it, and that is probably paying us back right now, that we haven't had good drafts in the past 17, 18 years, outside of a few, no-brainers. But I don't know, man. It's a lot. And then you had the Taylor Swift thing to it. Then you had, the gambling portion to it. Just there's a lot. And as a sports fan and a guy that loves every little piece of the puzzle and loves to pull it down and analyze. I don't know. Like I caught myself today thinking, man, it's just a little much right now. So I'm really interested from that standpoint. I did have there was a great interview yesterday, and I don't know if you're a big McAfee guy. I watch it religiously, and yesterday they didn't market it. They didn't do anything. Tom Brady, you know how I feel about Tom Brady, ends up on the Pat McAfee show, probably the greatest 10 minutes or so in interview history for me. I was just eating it with a spoon, dude. I mean, it was you talk about great interviews, great leaders, a guy that is just prepared for the next chapter of his life, which is going to be the number one color guy on Fox when it comes to their football programming. Tom Brady's going to be the GOAT in broadcasting when it's all said and done. I was absolutely just like I said, I was drooling. There was so much information. I was just I was downloading it as fast as I could and taking notes because that dude just inspires me, Scotty. He gets the old juice pumping up in the down these Yoakley veins.
So you do believe like you? Not only is he one of your favorite players ever, but you think he's gonna be one of your favorite, if not your favorite, broadcasters as well.
I do think about, and it might not be right away, but he said yesterday in paraphrasing here, he's taking what concepts and work ethic that he had on the football field and he's taking it into the booth. And that's crazy scary because the amount of preparation that guy does, there's going to be notes everywhere. There's going to be an ability to feel the game, to learn more about the game than ever before, which I am really looking forward to. I mean, think about how nuts people went for Tony Romo. That's Tony Romo, right? No, no slight, no diss, kind of. But Tom Brady, what? How's he going to be able to like break down a defense? How is he going to be able to articulate what a player is feeling? That is what I'm so intrigued in. That's why I think broadcasting, what we do, is so excuse me, so important, but it's also so interesting to a lot of people. Now there's broadcasts that we have that are bad. They stink. They're bad. We do bad. I had a bad game last night, right? But we can bring an element, and we're really starting to work on this at YSN. That's why I was so infatuated with this. We can bring another element of coaches, former players, really good athletes into the booth and give a perspective like never before. Because a lot of times, and this is kind of how we talk about it with YSN, Scotty, at the dinner table, nobody talks anymore. They just eat, they're on their phones, and then they separate. They go to their rooms and they play their games or they hop back on their phones and on their device. YSN and entities like Your Sports Network have created a conversation at the dinner table, a conversation in the weight room, a conversation on the school bus, a conversation, when mom and dad are taking you from point A to point B. I think that the same thing is happening and can happen with when you bring in really good announcers like a Tom Brady, like a Greg Olson, right? And you insert them into these scenarios where everybody's watching, right? And even just a nugget, you take a nugget out of that game and you go to the sports bar and you drop it, game changer, man. Could be the difference between getting a date and getting married and never.
Yeah, for sure. Look at Kelsey and Swift. I mean, yeah, a definite game changer. I did want to ask you too, because we've been talking about the NFL and Brady and the off season, but what was it like for you? I saw you had a very special guest at athletics. I think it
Oh,
was last week.
on
So
Saturday.
was that
It
Saturday?
was on
Okay.
Saturday. You're talking about the big fella.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, I'm still trying to compartmentalize, kind of what was going on. I can walk you through it. It was a late night on Friday. We didn't have a whole lot to do on Saturday. I got a text message from Sigler saying that he was at his niece's volleyball game at athletics. I was already intending to go that day at some point. I had some work to do and our internet was down. Um, and then minutes later, I get a text message from Chris that it's Ben Roethlisberger. Look who's here. I mean, I like fumbled my phone going. I ran, Scott. You see these stairs behind me. I ran up those stairs, and there's another set of stairs that go up to the top floor. Ran up those stairs. I was still in my sweatpants, my PJs, if you will. I'm throwing on any clothes I could. Again, still can't tell you what I wore. I think I had a regular t-shirt on, hood, brushed my teeth, out the door. I can't even. I don't even remember getting in the truck. I just remember flying down, like probably unceremoniously. I get to use it again. Probably not in the right context. Down 14, get to athletics off of 7. And I mean, then, man, there's no parking, is what I'm trying to say. There's no parking. So I got to turn around, U-turn, get back to Firestone Farms, and catch the shuttle just to go over to athletics. And then I get in, and Kean Hartley, who works at athletics, also stud football player for Columbiana. Kudos on your career, Kean. Giving me the hey, come here. I walk in the door. He goes, hey, I don't know if you know this, but Ben Roethlisberger's here. I looked at him. I said, Key, I know this, and that's why I'm here. That's why your boy is here at 9:00 in the morning on a Saturday, not because I have to work, but because Ben Roethlisberger is here. And as a guy, like I was trying to explain this earlier this week, as a guy that's got probably 10 Roethlisberger autographs, probably didn't need to be there, but I've never met him. I've never been face to face with what I feel is the greatest Steeler in my generation. I'm going to hear TJ Watt, right? I'm here for that. Roethlisberger, he's from Ohio. He plays for my favorite football team. Like he's my favorite. That's just how it goes, right? And then Scotty, Chris Sigler and I are sitting there. We're talking in our studio. We go around. His niece is about to go play her game, her JO volleyball game. So I'm standing on the wall with Sigler. We're having a great conversation, getting a lot done, having business talk, as Chris Sigler, as you know, is all business. And then all of a sudden, across my face, right across my face. 6'5", slender, svelte. Looks like he could go out and sling it for 500 yards right now. He's in sweatpants, Nikes. He's in a Toby Mac hoodie. 3 feet away from me, Scotty, to my right, standing. My football hero from my football team, standing there. Could not work up the courage to even go, hi. Not even that. Couldn't work up the courage to get a picture. Couldn't work up the courage to do anything other than a couple peeks and go, just keep looking. You know what I mean? Like, hard to believe. And even Chris, like, I've never seen Chris in a state of almost, I don't know, fanboy, right? We're all fanboys. That's why we do what we do. But I'm watching the game, and in my head, I'm starting to go, oh, well, you know what? He's just dad right now. Like, as much he is Ben Roethlisberger, he is Big Ben, but he's dad right now. He's watching his daughter play volleyball, and to me, I'm not trying to make this a fish story. That was cool to me, right? Because as much as he's in the news and he does this and he does that, and he's first ballot Hall of Famer, hands down. That moment right there, he was dad. Like he's clapping it up for both sides. He's volleyball dad. He's not Ben Roethlisberger. He's volleyball dad. He was there for his daughter. To me, it was so cool because there's that element of being a dad, right? That you just appreciate. And I was one of the, like, I love what we do. Don't get me wrong. I love seeing the joy and the excitement and the pride on the faces of parents when we interview them, and when they have great games and things of that nature. One of the, if not the best part of my job. But to see like that, to see a professional football player, Hall of Fame caliber football player, one of the best of all time football players, cheering for a, I want to say 12U volleyball game, humbling and cool, right? Just cool, like I can't imagine what it would be like if Ben Roethlisberger watched our podcast. You know what I mean? And because now he does podcasts and he's taking things from what we do. I don't know, man. The whole experience. I'm still trying. Like I said, it's a jigsaw puzzle. I'm trying to put it all together and compartmentalize my feelings. But to answer your question, man, it was cool. It was cool, and I got a couple pictures of other people's pictures of him standing in front of YSN, and I'm just like, nah, that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. For a moment in time, and there was also a moment, Scott. I neglected to tell you this. He walks out, little glance at the YSN stars, little glance, looks down, sees me, eye contact, little glance, and then he moseys on to the golf suites. I crossed his mind for 1 second. For 1 second, he was asking, "What the hell is YSN?" There's my moment. That's it.
That's so cool. Like I know we've gone at it over the years, being because I'm like super Browns fan, you're super Steelers fan, so we've had our moments, getting heated with each other. But something like that, man, that is just like I was uh, so happy for you, and that's just super cool. I think it just shows like you telling the story, him like just being cheering on the volleyball game and cheering on everybody. It's just like a cool thing that like yeah, he's in a way he's one of us too, and like you said with the podcast and everything and what he's doing, taking some stuff from what like we do. So that is super cool, man. And I can't even like um the Browns, if they ever did get there one day, and it was like I got to meet somebody that was like a star, I'd probably lose it too. Like I don't know how I would react, but like Ben winning not just one but two Super Bowls and being a top quarterback in the league for so many years, like being one of the elite, um, that's to get to meet like your hero, because you pretty much grew up with Ben too, DJ, probably as a sports fan. I mean, he came in '04, so I mean, you were an adult, but early college years.
My
So
wife would argue and say that I'm still not an adult, but I appreciate the compliment.
That's super cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you think a little bit, which leads me to the question for you. Like, if there were anybody that you would come across, would anybody kind of make you kind of mark out a little bit, be a fanboy? Is there anybody out there that you think you'd be like, oh, I don't know if I could talk to them. I don't know if I could even you go up and shake their hand.
Yeah, it would. There's a couple guys that comes to mind. Um, Top over anybody. The number one would be, and I know, he's been controversial. A lot of people don't like certain things about him and his politics, but LeBron would be number one. I don't know. I feel like I would just like choke up and not be able to say anything. And Nick Chubb would be another one, where I'd be like, just like, man, like I would just be. I don't think I could put together. I'd be able to put together a sentence like you said. You couldn't even say like hello. I feel like I would be the same way, just like shaking almost.
And I felt like such a stooge after. You know what I mean? Like I felt proud of myself because there were people that went up to him and were asking him for pictures, and he was very courteous. It looked like, but you could tell that he just wanted to be dad. And I can appreciate that. Now that's probably a cop out for me being a sissy in that moment, but it's one of those things. Like you deal with that and you see what he goes through, and you're like, man, do I really want to be that guy? Do I really want to be? But the other side of you, that's the angel and the devil, right? Because the angel saying, leave him alone. He's here for his daughter. He's here with his family. But the devil side of it saying, hey man, how often are you ever going to see Ben Roethlisberger in athletics? And hopefully it's a lot. Hopefully, they continue to grow athletics and people come from all over. And that's not the last time we see Big Ben in athletics, because next time, Scotty, I bit my tongue. I did my time. Next time, I'm getting the big fella. I'm getting him in that studio, sitting him right where the microphone where you sit, and we're going to talk. We're going to chat it up, and I'm going to ask him about being a professional sports, professional athlete, and now being a dad. What's that transition like? So I can't. Hopefully that day comes, and God graces me with that opportunity that I completely just. I seriously, I do want to beat myself up sometimes when I think about that scenario. But there will be better days. There will be better days. What
Yeah,
up? You talk about quarterbacks. Have you ever met Bernie?
I I have never met Bernie, no, and it's crazy because he actually one day he went into and he ordered a sub at Dave's Cosmic Subs,
Plug.
my
Love
brother
it.
and sister's sub shop, and uh, my brother like said hello to him and told him like go Browns quickly and stuff like that. Like he was like, oh, that's awesome, that's Bernie, but I've never met Bernie, but he's one of those guys, that because he was like before my time and he's somebody that like he was one of my dad's heroes. So
Yeah.
I like kind of in my mind I've always like imagined like him just being this guy that like even though he didn't win a Super Bowl or get to a Super Bowl, I always imagine him being like the best Browns QB like ever, even though, like uh Otto Graham was probably the best.
Tim
But
Couch,
uh
Jeff Garcia,
yeah, even
Spurgeon Wynn.
yeah. Uh those yeah, those guys were something. Ken Dorsey, who's now the
Hey, that's your guy now. You better
yeah,
be careful.
yeah.
I forgot he played for you. I hope he's better coordinator than he was a quarterback.
Yeah, me too. I'm not gonna, I don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other on him as a coordinator. I do think he did some good with Josh Allen, so we'll just wait and see. But um, yeah, man, that's awesome. I've never met Bernie though. Um,
Would your dad lose his mind if he met Bernie?
I I think he would be pretty I think he would be pretty starstruck for a guy that says he doesn't get that way, and he really hasn't from what I've seen. Like he's met some pretty like he's met Boom Boom, obviously he
Hmm.
met Ed O'Neill, he met Jim McMahon of the Bears. Like he's met
Your
some.
dad met Jay Pritchett, Ed O'Neill.
Yeah, he did. Um,
He probably knows
so
him better from Al Bundy, not Jay Pritchett.
yeah, um, and I actually I met him too because he was at Ray's wedding. So he's a super nice guy. Um, yeah, that was really cool
Big
out in
fan of Ed O'Neill.
California.
I would love to talk to Ed O'Neill about the golden days, the golden days of Youngstown and sports here in this area. What was I going to ask you? Oh, dude, so we got some great basketball going on right now. Really good basketball on the network going on. We had 26 games last night, which again is mind blowing to know that there's on a Tuesday 26 games to choose from, all over the range, essentially. So I my game was kind of rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. There was the Springfield and Sebring were going at it. The JV game, I think unofficially Springfield won by 70. I think.
Oh.
And then in the varsity game wasn't a whole lot better, but you how often do you sit back, like do you enjoy going to high school games when you can? Like is it on your radar to go to the field house, or go somewhere where you can take in high school games, or is it just kind of your all-star game once a year kind of thing that we do with YSN?
No, it's definitely become more on my radar now. Like you
No pun
mentioned,
intended, obviously.
yeah. Um, like you mentioned, like the field house in Struthers, like that's a place. Like I'd love to um, check out a game from there. I'd love to get back to Camel and check out a game. Even like Salem to be with like the Quaker crazies. Like I think that would be
The Cab,
really.
they would love you there, Scotty. They would eat you up, over at the Cab. I can promise you that. So let me ask you a question. I don't know if you saw the Power Hour earlier this week where we debuted. I think it was Monday. We let the cat out of the bag. The All Star game, the YSN All Star game, will be on March 24th. We will have a slam dunk contest. We will have a 3-point contest, and we're working on for the girls, because there's no girls that can slam dunk, that I know of. We're working on something that my good buddy Donnie Riccatelli explains to me as 3-2-1. So you have 15 seconds. You've got to hit a three, you've got to hit a two, and then you've got to hit a free throw. So we're going to create something for the girls as well. But for you, you're going to be in attendance, whether you like it or not. But what would you most be excited for? An event like the actual All Star game, or like the showcase games leading up to it?
Um, you see, I really like the All Star games in the past because you kind of had like contrasting just ways like I remember boys, like it was a lot of just like kind of like putting on a show a lot more, you know, just going going and doing things and incorporating a lot of like flair, and the girls, they were like serious about winning. So or I should say they definitely, the defense, they were more, you could see the fire on that end,
Oh
like
yeah.
they took it more seriously. So I would say I love the All Star games itself, but I gotta be honest. When you mention a 3 point and a dunk and possibly a 3-2-1 or whatever you would call it, like that sounds like super fun. I think I'm more excited for the other events.
I the All Star games are always near and dear to my heart. Always will be. It's a labor of love and it's a lot of work. But I got to tell you, to be able to take that next step in the evolution of the All Star Classics, especially with our All Star game, I'm excited for the skills competition. I really am. I think that it's going to be cool as long as we can get the right guys in the dunk contest, the right contestants in the 3 point contest, and the right ladies in the 3-2-1. I think this has the potential to be something that not only stays, but is going to be replicated, duplicated, all that stuff by other people that they don't have the power necessarily that we do. I got to give a tip of the cap to BSTN, which is Boardman, Boardman School Television Network. And I'll tell you what, they they're going to be broadcasting the game. They have TriCaster and 3 camera setup. We'll have our announcers, but they debuted it last night on YSN with the collaboration with BSTN, and this is going to make that competition so much better because you're going to be able to get close-ups of the dunks like never before. Like usually it was just going to be our 1 camera setup. We've got 3 cameras. It's going to be awesome. Cannot wait for that. The 3 point competition as well, and certainly the 3-2-1. And it's all for good cause. It's all for Sleep in Heavenly Peace, which they're a great organization that does a lot for the area around here to make sure no kid goes without a bed. Which, Scotty, our situation. It's very important to us to be able to constantly give back to great organizations that give back to adults and kids in some facet here locally. So I am geeked up beyond. But the reason I brought that up, Scotty, the reason that I brought that up to you is because your boy last night could not sleep. I was electrified at about 2 a.m. Really, it was just Bella not sleeping. And I rolled down here. I think my pillows, yep, you can still see my pillow on the couch because I came down and tried to sleep. Could not. So I had these unbelievable thoughts. Unbelievable. It was like getting gifted in the middle of the night these just incredible thoughts. Scotty, would you like to be one of the guest judges for the slam dunk contest?
Oh my god, I would, I'm floored, man. That would be such an honor. I would love it. Yes.
So my question to you is, what do the dunkers have to do to impress Scotty Mincher?
I would say, um, to me, like, I don't know, dunk contests are all about creativity. Like even if you don't finish the dunk, I always like the people that are creative, and you know they really kind of think outside the box. That's what I'm gonna be looking at, and whether it's like help from a teammate or whatever strategy they decide to go with, like before they're dunking, you know, I don't know, like everybody athletically is a little different athleticism wise, but yeah, I just like for me, it's about um, the creativity, I guess I would say.
For me, I agree with the creativity, but there's got to be an element of surprise. Like one of my favorite dunks ever was the birthday candle. You remember that one? I forget who did it. They had a
I do remember that one, yeah, but
they went up for a dunk, blew out the candle and dunked it. That was awesome.
yeah, that was sweet.
If I could dunk and I can't, not even close. Blessed to be able to hit home runs, not blessed to be able to dunk. I'm just throwing it out there. We're inviting mascots. What if we saw someone dress up as one of the mascots in the YSN family, the YSN universe, and put one down?
Oh man, that would be really cool.
I'd be all about it. Like dress up in the Sparty outfit, go up, put her down. I mean that's to me that's an automatic win. Like you're going home with the championship.
Yeah, that would be super awesome.
So there you
Um,
have it, Mount. Apologies. March 24th. Time to be determined. We will have the annual YSN All Star Game and skills showcase, which includes the dunk contest, 3-point contest, as well as the 3-2-1. That's going to be at Boardman High School. So make your plans now, ladies and gentlemen. I want to look up and see nothing but maroon and gray because we'll be passing out T-shirts, selling T-shirts, all that stuff. Looking for sponsors so that way we don't have to sell the T-shirts. We can just give them away. That'd be nice. And who knows? We might have a couple other giveaways during the night as well, and we raise a bunch of money for sleep in heavenly peace. Scotty, we're gonna wrap up things a little. Oh my gosh! We're gonna wrap up things a little early today. You ready for your spark?
let's do it.
All right, here we go. I was just fine. I cut out early. It's the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark presented by DickeyElectric.com. Joe Dickey Electric, thanks to Eric Carlson and the entire crew over at Joe Dickey Electric for their constant support of your sports network. Scotty, what is your spark?
So my spark is short and sweet today, literally. Um, I'm gonna go with just recently, a few days ago, um, Jimmy. He's always good for getting me this kind of like finding the new candy or like obscure candy or um, snacks I've never had. And the other day he got me, they were Reese's dipped animal crackers. And I got
Wow.
to say, they are fire. I don't know where he got them, but those, they are so good, man. I ate the whole bag.
Oh,
So,
Jimmy's got all the connections, man.
yeah.
He probably went straight to the factory for you, my friend.
Yeah, so I guess that's uh that's it. That's all I got today. But
All right. Mine's going to be real quick as well. Radar kind of goes with radars, and he's talking about the derailment in East Palestine. It is really creeping up on the 1 year anniversary that is Saturday, February 3rd, the 1 year anniversary of the train derailment. There's been a lot of media in town. I've already started my media tour here, Scotty. I was on a couple different things this morning. I'll be on a couple different things tonight, and then all through the weekend as well. I just want people to realize and understand that there were a lot of people that were affected, and that there is no one, overbearing answer to all the questions because, to be quite honest, all the questions haven't been answered. Um, but everybody's like, well, I mean, I was on Fox News today, and I don't know. I think it went well. it was retweeted by somebody very prominent, at least in the political world, and there's a lot of attention coming back. And listen, don't read your tweets, man. Don't read your tweets, because there's a lot of people that are really mean out there behind these keyboards. But that's what YSN has done for me. It's gotten me ready. It's thickened up my skin a little bit for some of these tweets and these social media things. Continue, please, to just think about people in East Palestine. One of the tweets was, nobody died. No, they didn't, but that doesn't mean that they weren't affected. And that doesn't mean that there's not long-term consequences and situations that people have to fight through. So if you wouldn't mind, just keeping people in my hometown that I love so much, East Palestine, in your thoughts and prayers, and go easy on them, because Pat McAfee, my boy, always says, talks about, telling someone something nice because it might just save their life. At the end of the day, I think it's been a real tough year in old EP, man. There's been some wins, but there's been a lot of loss. There's been a lot of loss, and there's been a lot of people that have had to make some tough decisions. So, keep them in your T's and P's, and make sure that, you tell them, if you know somebody from Palestine, tell them you love them, because it's been a tough one. Tough one, even if they try to put on a brave face. So that's going to do it for our show today. Scotty Mincher, thank you as always for joining me. Can't thank you enough, my friend, for Wednesdays. I love them. I look forward to them. Sometimes we start late because, dad. But at the end of the day, man, it's always good spending some time with you and hacking it up a little bit. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, and ditto. Same to you. This is as always my favorite day of the week. So thank you, man.
Appreciate you, dude. That is going to do it again for the Ysn Power Hour, powered by our friends over at Toyota of Warren. Lots of games on the agenda again tonight. Thanks for tuning in, and continue to watch. We'll see you tomorrow, 3 to 4, right here on the network. Almost got it. Ashley Schroeds, Mike Skrinjar should be with us tomorrow. Tune in for that. We'll see you. YSN thanks you